There's something quietly happening that most older men never fully understand. They notice it, but they don't question it. A smile, a glance that lingers just a second longer, a softness in her expression for no obvious reason. And they think maybe she's just being polite, but it's not politeness, it's presence, because what many men lose over time you gained without even realizing it. Calm, you're not rushing anymore, you're not trying to prove something every second, you're not chasing attention like you used to. And that changes everything, because a woman can feel that instantly. While younger men walk in trying to impress, talking too much, trying too hard, forcing energy, you walk in, and you don't need to say anything. And somehow that silence speaks louder. You don't react to everything. You don't get pulled into every moment. You observe more than you chase, and that creates something rare, stability. And in a world full of noise, stability feels attractive. Not because it's flashy, but because it's safe, and safety is something a woman feels before she ever explains it. You see, attraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet smile, a small shift in her posture, a subtle change in her tone, things most men overlook, but those are the moments where she's responding to your energy, not your words. And here's the part most men miss: you're not attractive because you're older. You're attractive because of what time has taken away from you. The need to impress, the need to rush, the need to be validated, and what's left is something steady. Something grounded, something real. You don't need perfect lines anymore. You don't need to compete for attention. Because when you speak, you take your time, and when you look, you're not searching for approval. You're simply present. In that presence, it creates a feeling she doesn't always understand, but she responds to it anyway. With a smile, with curiosity, with a moment that lingers just a little longer than expected, so the next time it happens, don't dismiss it. Don't overthink it, and don't try to change it, because the truth is, you're not being noticed because you tried harder. You're being noticed because you finally stopped trying at all. Calm confidence has a completely different effect compared to loud attention, seeking energy, and this is something most men don't fully understand. Loud energy often comes from a need to be noticed. It shows up as talking too much, trying to impress quickly, interrupting silence, or constantly proving value. At first, it might grab attention, but it rarely holds it. Over time, it feels unstable, and that instability makes people step back emotionally. Calm confidence, on the other hand, does the opposite. It doesn't chase attention, it attracts it. When a man is calm, his actions feel controlled and intentional. He doesn't rush his words, he doesn't react to everything instantly, and he doesn't feel the need to fill every silence. This creates a sense of balance, and that balance feels natural to be around. A woman can sense this difference immediately. She may not consciously explain it, but she feels it. Loud energy can feel unpredictable, like something that might change at any moment. Calm confidence feels steady. It feels like there is nothing to prove, nothing to force, and that creates comfort. Comfort is important because it lowers emotional resistance. When someone feels calm around you, they open up more easily. They don't feel judged, pressured, or rushed. Instead, they feel like they can just exist in the moment. This is where real connection starts to form, not through effort, but through ease. Calm confidence also shows emotional control. When a man doesn't overreact, doesn't get easily shaken, and doesn't depend on external validation, it creates a strong impression. It signals that he is grounded within himself. This kind of stability is rare, and anything rare naturally stands out. Another key part is how calm confidence affects communication. When you speak slowly and clearly, people listen more. When you pause instead of rushing, your words carry more weight. When you maintain eye contact without forcing it, it feels natural instead of intense. These small details make a big difference in how your presence is felt. silence also becomes powerful in calm confidence. Instead of being awkward, it feels comfortable. You don't feel the need to fill every gap with words. And that ability to sit in silence without discomfort shows strength. It shows that you are not dependent on constant interaction to feel secure. In contrast, loud energy often breaks this flow. It interrupts moments that could have built connection. It creates pressure instead of ease. While it may seem exciting at first, it doesn't create the same depth or trust. Over time, calm confidence becomes more attractive because it feels real and consistent. It doesn't fluctuate based on the situation or the people around you. It remains steady, and that steadiness is what people remember. In the end, calm confidence is not about doing more. It is about needing less validation, less attention, less urgency, and in that less, there is a quiet strength that naturally draws people in. Presence is something most men misunderstand, especially as they get older. They think attraction comes from appearance, status, or what they say. But what truly creates impact is something much quieter, how they exist in a moment. Presence is not about doing more. It's about how you carry yourself without trying to prove anything. When a man has presence, people feel him before they fully notice him. It shows in the way he walks, the way he pauses, the way he looks around without rushing. There is no urgency in his movements, no need to grab attention. Everything feels natural and unforced. That alone creates a strong impression because it is different from what most people are used to. Many men lose this because they are constantly trying to perform. They think they need to say the right words, act a certain way, or impress quickly, but that effort often breaks their presence. It makes their energy feel scattered and inconsistent. Presence, on the other hand, comes from being grounded. It comes from being fully in the moment instead of thinking about how you are being perceived. A strong presence also creates a sense of awareness. You notice your surroundings, you notice people, and you respond instead of reacting. This makes your actions feel intentional. Even small things like a slight smile or a calm glance carry more meaning because they are not rushed or forced. For older men, presence often becomes stronger over time, even without conscious effort. Life experiences reduce the need to prove things. There is less urgency, less emotional reactivity, and more control over how they carry themselves. This creates a quiet confidence that feels natural. And that natural confidence is what people respond to. When a woman smiles at a man like this, it is not always about his looks or anything obvious. It is often a response to how he made her feel in that brief moment. His presence felt calm, steady, and real. That feeling stands out because it is rare. Presence also affects how others behave around you. When your energy is calm and grounded, people tend to mirror it. They relax, they become more open, and the interaction feels smoother. There is no pressure, no need to impress, just a natural flow. Another important part of presence is silence. Many people are uncomfortable with it, so they try to fill it quickly. But a man with presence is comfortable in silence. He doesn't rush to speak just to avoid awkwardness. That comfort shows strength because it reflects inner stability. In the end, presence is not something you add. It is something you stop disturbing. When you remove the need to impress, the need to rush, and the need for validation, what remains is a calm, steady energy. And that energy is what people feel. That is why it is not about age, it is about presence. Emotional control is one of the most quietly powerful traits a man can develop, yet it is often overlooked. It is not about suppressing feelings or acting cold. It is about understanding your emotions without letting them control your behavior. When a man has emotional control, his reactions feel measured, thoughtful, and steady instead of impulsive. Many people react instantly to situations. If something feels good, they get overly excited. If something feels off, they become tense or uncomfortable. This creates inconsistency. But a man with emotional control creates a different experience. He stays balanced. His mood does not swing based on small changes around him. That consistency makes him feel dependable. This becomes especially noticeable in social interactions. When a woman speaks, he listens without interrupting or trying to dominate the conversation. If there is a pause, he doesn't rush to fill it out of nervousness. If something unexpected happens, he doesn't overreact. His calm responses make the interaction feel smooth and natural. Emotional control also shows in how a man handles attention. He does not become overly eager when he receives interest, and he does not become withdrawn if he doesn't. He stays centered. This balance sends a strong signal that he is not dependent on external validation. That independence creates a sense of strength. Another important aspect is patience. A man with emotional control does not rush outcomes. He allows things to develop at their own pace. Whether it is a conversation or a connection, he understands that forcing things often leads to tension. By staying patient, he creates a more comfortable environment where things can grow naturally. It also affects how he deals with uncertainty. Not every situation is clear, and not every signal is easy to read. Instead of overthinking or reacting quickly, he stays composed. He observes, understands, and then responds when it feels right. This makes his actions feel intentional rather than reactive. This level of control creates trust without needing to say much. People feel that they can rely on someone who does not get easily shaken. It makes interactions feel safe and predictable in a positive way, without being boring. In the end, emotional control is not about doing something extra. It is about removing unnecessary reactions. When a man learns to stay steady regardless of what is happening around him, his presence becomes stronger, his interactions become smoother, and the connection he creates feels more real and lasting. Women don't respond to what you say as much as they respond to how you make them feel . And this is where most men completely miss the point. They focus on words, lines, and trying to sound impressive, thinking attraction is built through what they deliver verbally. But words are only a small part of the experience. The real impact comes from the emotional atmosphere you create. A man can say all the right things, but if his energy feels tense, needy, or forced, it creates discomfort. On the other hand, a man can say very little, but if his presence feels calm, grounded, and genuine, it creates ease. That ease is what a woman remembers, not the exact sentence, not the exact words, but the feeling she had while being around you. Feelings are processed faster than logic. Before she even thinks about what you said, she has already felt something about you. That feeling becomes the filter through which everything else is judged. If the feeling is good, even simple words seem meaningful. If the feeling is off, even perfect words lose their effect. This is why tone, timing, and energy matter more than content. The way you say something, the space you give between words, and the calmness in your voice all shape how your message is received. When your delivery is relaxed and natural, it creates comfort. When it is rushed or overly intense, it creates pressure. Another key part is emotional consistency. If your energy keeps shifting, sometimes confident, sometimes unsure, it creates confusion. But when your presence remains steady, it builds a sense of reliability. That reliability allows a woman to relax because she knows what to expect from you emotionally. You also influence how she feels through your reactions. If you stay composed in different situations, it creates a stable environment. If you react too quickly or too strongly, it introduces tension. People naturally move toward environments where they feel at ease and away from those that feel unpredictable. Even small moments matter. A calm pause, a genuine smile, or a relaxed response can shape the entire interaction. These moments may seem insignificant, but they build the overall emotional experience. Over time, that experience becomes what she associates with you. In the end, attraction is not built through perfect communication, but through consistent emotional impact. When a woman feels comfortable, understood, and at ease around you, that feeling becomes stronger than any words you could say. So instead of focusing only on what to say, focus on how you make her feel in your presence, because that feeling is what stays with her long after the conversation is over.